Hello, everyone. We are live. Today we have Mark Farr, Andy Hobday, and we have a special guest this evening, Mr. Paul Hicks. Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, all good. Good. Friday night, so yes. It's been a bit another hectic week at Footsore with lots of stuff going on, lots of orders going out the door, which is great. We've got more staff than ever. We've just bought another casting machine, so our customer support has been nothing less than excellent. So I'll say now thank you to everybody, and
good night.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah, I'm done. Good night. That's me done.
Let's go play a game. Andy, how about yourself?
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to multitask, and being a man,
right.
I'm not very good at that. I'm good, thank you. It's Friday, isn't it? So, so all good. Yeah, I'm just really building up for Sunday. If I'm being honest, I've been a bit distracted. I'm sure we'll talk about it.
Sunday. What's Sunday?
I don't know. What's Sunday? What's Sunday, Paul?
I don't know.
There you go. See,
yeah.
He hasn't really made anything, so
no,
we're just winging it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, for the Kickstarter. So yeah, so I've been all my spare time has been getting ready for that. So yeah, very excited.
Yeah. Me too. The stuff I've seen come across my desk to go into molds is just like awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's why we got someone else a ghost sculptor to do them.
Ghost sculptor.
We're just trading off Paul's name now.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, Paul has the easy job tonight. He's just sitting there doing nothing. So we're the ones that have to.
He has come to answer questions, so make sure you've got some really difficult ones for him. Excuse me, I'm just going to say hello to everybody. So as we go, I'm just going to do the typing bit. People are coming in. Good evening, Mr. Barfield.
Mr. Barfield's on, is he? Good.
Yeah. Good. Barfield, who's painting some lovely stuff at the moment.
He is at the moment.
Yeah, loads.
He's an absolute star. We'll have to get together and have a game where we can come out and play again with the general public, which is good.
Tracy Martin's on as well, yeah.
Yeah. Even so I just say hello to people. That's easier, isn't it?
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Yeah. There's been some rumours about a griffin. We'll talk about that. Oh, yeah, there is a nice griffin. Yeah, good.
How's that rumour sneaked out?
Me, it wasn't. It didn't sneak out. I just blatantly told everybody.
Did you?
So, which is good. Good. So, should we cover our news? We've got stuff to talk about, haven't we, tonight?
Yeah, I think we should start with Tim.
Yes. So, do you want to tell us about your Kickstarter? Because last time we were here, you were just about to go live with your Kickstarter, Tim, and it's all finished now. So, how did it go?
Went well. I'm a bit less distracted this session than I was last session, as the numbers were increasing and stuff like that. Very successful. The Kickstarter funded. Within the next couple days, the backer kit survey should go out, and I'm very excited about that. It's taken some time because I want to make sure that we've got postage just right, so there aren't any mistakes.
Yeah.
And thanks to Andy for helping me out with that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes.
Tricky.
It's tricky. And, the Kickstarters, they're very stressful, because you're constantly on. And so I feel like coming back from Iraq, you're coming out of it, and I see you going into it, and like,
I'm shell shocked. I think it's really interesting because it feels like the second one wasn't that long ago, because obviously we were getting stuff. We had that month's delay, all of that. But when I actually started prepping all the stuff, it's nearly a year
Yeah.
since we did the last one, and it went live, etc., etc. I think it's at least 11 months ago. So it's amazing. Time flies. It really does fly.
Yeah.
No.
So,
I was wondering that myself, because I was like, wow, it's got to be less than a year. I thought it was like 6 months or 8 months. But it's awesome.
Yeah, no, good year, and it's snowshoes arriving in the summer. Yeah, it's been a bit longer than you think. So it's good. Yeah, it's good. So where are you then, Tim, with it all? So you're just doing back kit, you're getting the shipping sorted, etc. So what can you tell people?
So then what will happen is production molds will start. We will start getting the everything's been casted, so we have all the masters. Production molds will begin to be made.
Yeah.
Masters will be sent to Mr. Mark Farr over there in UK. Then we'll get a better sense of how many needs to go out, and we'll start moving forward with that. We just wanted to have a lot of time between the end of the Kickstarter itself and enough time for production so that there aren't any issues at all, especially doing with postage. So that's my main concern.
Yeah. I think we need to give a shout out to Stavros as well, because he's pretty much sculpted the entire range for you, hasn't he?
Stavros has sculpted the entire range.
Yes, it's a really nice range.
Right. Yeah. Really well. The boat was not sculpted by Stavros; it's done by a digital artist, a friend of mine. But other than that, yeah. And I have a mat from Geek Villain, the winter mat that he made for this. It's very nice. So I don't see the numbers yet as far as how many people have had ordered, added on for the mat, but I highly recommend it. It was designed for the Kickstarter itself. We talked about before, kind of like a box set, a game set. Here's your mat, here's your figures, that sort of thing. So we wanted to provide that, and I believe Mark has a mat too from Geek Villain that was sent. So it's nice.
and I've even used it. So
We've already played the game, haven't we?
It's already been tested in battle. And it has to be said, I really do like the quality of the Geek game and stuff. I just love the material and stuff, and it's just they're nice and lightweight, and they fold up tidy, and they don't crease, and they're just really good mats. So and I like the one that Geek Villain's done for you, because instead of it just being like a plain white sheet, there's actually quite a lot going on it, which is nice. So with the broken ground and the fallen trees and all the bits, it's actually visually quite interesting to play over. So they've done really well, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
a lot of the time went back and forth between he and I, because I was grabbing pictures and saying, this is what I want, this is what we need to have, and we designed it so that you can apply your own other terrain bits and features to it. So it's really cool. And I'm still impressed with the thought that Andy said either last month or the month before about using it for Coven at some point. So that's got my interest. What is he really talking about? So
yeah. We've had a play test on one, haven't we?
Yep.
On the snow mat. So that was good.
Yeah. If you want, it's reversible. If you just want white, just turn it over.
Just turn it over.
yeah. White out.
So, but yes, I'm very thankful. Thank you so much. It was a good experience, and time to push on with it. So
awesome. No, it's good. I'm really pleased it was a big success, because there's some lovely stuff there, and it's going to allow us to use the basis of the rules and add some black powder weapons to them, which is a really cool thing. So we can bolt those on, and away you go, Tim. So I'm looking forward to coming up with that.
And again, without any of your support, both Mark and Andy, throughout the entire from start to finish, I would have been. So I'm very appreciative of this.
Very welcome. Very welcome.
Just
Team effort.
Yeah.
yep, thankful. So, okay, but enough about me. I don't like being talked about. What about you? What's going on Sunday? That's just Paul. What are you doing Sunday?
Well, there might be a Kickstarter drop in. I'm not sure.
Well,
Yeah.
We're gonna we got the Barons War 3 Death and Taxes Kickstarter dropping on Sunday. And the idea behind this one is so we can bring it's like these old play sets. The whole thing is going to be rewind. All the packs are individual, and they're going to add to the current range. So you're going to get some more sergeants, some outlaws, some villages, the kind of stuff that we haven't got already, which will expand on the range. But the idea is that all of everything that we're going to do for this Kickstarter is a complete set on its own. So there'll be a ton of scenarios and a campaign, loads of characters. We're going to hopefully fund both sides, which is really interesting, actually. Just saying that. I was driving home this evening, and I thought that you could actually take all of it and make one really cool force out of it, one really cool retinue.
Yeah.
You could have what's his name? I can't even remember his name. Our guy Gisborne character, Eustace of Loudon. There you go. He could be your commander, and he would bring his sergeants. You could have some villagers in there, and then you just bring all the outlaws as your bowmen, and that could make a really interesting retinue on its own. But the idea is they're going to form two forces for the campaign, and you can add in the current stuff that you've got. So it's quite exciting. I'm looking forward to telling their story. Really, that's the bit I'm looking forward to.
Well, it did start off as just a small thing as well, didn't it? And then
yes,
it escalated rather quickly.
It did. It was meant to just be a small Kickstarter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That is what you promised me. Yes.
I blame Paul.
Well, that's what Andy promised me as well.
Oh, why is it my fault?
Well, because I thought, well, let's do a little one.
But then we had this conversation. It's like, oh, we could just add some of this, and wouldn't it be nice if we did this? Yeah, and then it kind of escalated, didn't it?
Kind of.
Well, I have to say that I really liked the first two Barons War Kickstarters because they gave you loads of all of the troops and the knights and all of the stuff that you needed. But what I really like about this one is it's really characterful. You've gone to a whole nother level now on the character in all of the figures, and I just think they're all fantastic. I look at all of them and I go, "Oh, this is really good. I definitely want one of them." Or, that's nice. I'll definitely, the character in this one is, it's great. It gives it, for want of a better word, it seems to give it more depth. I'm really quite, I'm quite excited about all of the figures as characters and how they play in the game and what they do and that. And for somebody who's an old beardy like me who sees millions of toy soldiers, that's quite exciting. So
Yeah, no, I agree, and I agree. And for me, it's this whole, it's how we got here. Because when we start, I think sometimes people get confused because we obviously Footsore help us deliver this. These are mine and Paul's Kickstarters, so it's like our project. It's what we do on our own. I mean, don't get me wrong, you guys ably support us, and then it's great that Footsore take the ranges so far. But when we started this, it's a period that I really enjoyed that I wanted to release, and we couldn't get round to it, could we, We
didn't have time.
We didn't get time. So just looking at where we are now with this already, we released the Barons War 2 range quite recently and that was quite a few packs went out, and we've now got the whole range is really big. So by doing these Kickstarters, it enables us to really explore this period. So the fact that we're actually doing you know, I didn't even intend to write any rules for it, and we got rules in the last one, and now we're getting a campaign set, like a play set. It's really quite exciting for me. I'm finding it quite exciting. So,
This
you know, so what was that, Tim?
It's very neat concept.
You know, the previous stuff was fun to do, but now we're into the element we can have the fun bits, can't we? This is, I think, the most I've enjoyed sculpting the Barons War stuff. I obviously enjoyed doing the other stuff, but now I'm into, I can make this character and do this character and make them, you know, and then it's like painting an army, isn't it? You've got to do all of the rank and file before you can have fun with the
cool stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Sorry, Tim. Paul rudely cut you off then.
Sorry, Tim.
No offense taken. Andy, I've been watching the comments earlier, questions about the terrain, the 3D printed terrain. Can you talk about that? People are asking, what if I don't have a printer? You know, that sort of thing. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, of course. Why we're doing terrain is I thought it was really important. If we're gonna do a campaign set, you need to put it somewhere. So even when you go back to the early ones that Games Workshop did, like Terror the Lich Master, you got the cardboard buildings and all of that, so you could reuse them and you could build your scenarios. So I was really keen to create the village that this is set in. So we agonized over how we were going to release it and make it available, and we've gone down the digital path. So we've had Dan Kelly at Lion Tower has digitally sculpted all of these buildings, and you know, let's be honest, some of them are my interpretation of medieval buildings. So, which, you know, I'm sure some people don't agree with, and you know, I've had a couple of people go on about the church and that it's probably a bit early, and it is intentionally early because that's how it fits in to the campaign. So, you know, that will become apparent later. However, by going back to what we're talking about, by digitally sculpting them, it allows us to offer them as files. So, which is something that we've not done before, and I'm very interested in doing. So people will be able to back for all of the digital files and print to their own heart's content. Which it's still magic to me. I've got someone else who does it. I don't know how to do it. Or you know, as I was showing the guys earlier, you know, or we're going to supply a number of the sets already printed, because like me, I don't have a printer. So we're gonna, you know, and we're gonna have to offer full villages for now, or we got like a half village, like a hamlet, because it's the only way we can do it. What we're printing it in is it's like a plastic resin. So, you know, this stuff is really, it's not like conventional resin, which is really heavy. This stuff is just like plastic, and you can see it's just highly detailed. It's you know, it's not very clear, is it? But
no, it's great.
You know, you've got all the wood grain in there, you know, and that's one piece, and it comes like that. This is the tree house, obviously. I didn't think I had to say it was the tree house. It's a tree. And then this obviously in the story, the tree's been hit by lightning, so it's down the middle is how it comes, and you can see it's a dead tree and it's been crushed.
Yeah.
And again, this stuff, it's like plastic.
Yeah.
So it's really super light. So it's not like heavy resin, and it goes together quite easily. And it's got the same. It's like same consistency as plastic. So this is what we're going to print it all in, and it's hollow. You see there? So it's super lightweight, easy to store, you know, and easy. It takes normal glue. Just glue the stuff together. So, you know, this is what it's going to be. I'm really quite pleased how this has all turned out. So yeah, it's quite exciting. This is quite exciting to me. It allows me to base the game, you know, the campaign in an area that we really want it to be in, and we can, you know, we got the terrain to match the figures.
Yeah. I think it's quite exciting because we always like, you know, when we play games, we like to have really nice map or a nice board and nice painted scenery, and then obviously you put on your nicely painted armies, and visually it tells a story by itself, and that, you know, it draws you into the game, and that's really good. So being able to have our own, you know, our own specific set for this, you know, was brilliant. I mean, I remember playing Orcs Drift and
someone's
having all the
mentioned
buildings.
it.
You know, and I remember playing Orcs Drift and making all the cardboard buildings, and he used different buildings for different scenarios. Then eventually he had the big battle at Orcs Drift at the end, and it was great, and that was what he wanted. So you know, this is, you know, a much more sort of modern version of it, I think. You know, it's exciting, and I like the fact that we're offering people the choice of the downloadable files, because quite a few people are going down this road now. Not me, because I'm a technophobe, but you know, but having printed versions as well for people to buy, you know, it means it's accessible to everybody, isn't it? So, you know, I think it's the best of all worlds.
Totally. And if you buy, you know, I was looking at it as well. If you buy the files, you can print a massive. You could have a medieval town if you wanted, you know, with ovals. You just keep printing. So it's,
those files, are they pre-supported files?
Yeah. They've been designed, spec'd for resin printers. So and it's been done on the smallest bed possible, because we know a lot of people have like the Mars. We printed all these on an EPAC X1, I think it is.
Good printer,
it's a great printer, but it's a real workhorse. So we've gone for the smallest bed size that you can get. So, you know, if most people have got a printer, it should fit. But they will also print on the filament printers as well. We haven't tested it yet, but we're pretty sure they will.
It would.
So yeah, and they're going to become pre-supported or not supported depending on what you want to do. Obviously, there'll be T's and C's to go with that, you know. But at the end of the day, if you buy them, you can print them, you know, till your eyes fall out if you want. You know, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think that was about the questions that I saw regarding the files where they supported. You know, how many sets are going to be part of the Kickstarter?
Yeah, we're going to do. Well, someone's asked in here. David Hall's asked if the village parts, it's going up quite quickly, are limited to 50. Will there be more available at a later time? We've limited it. We've limited it to 50 of the village and the hamlet for a reason. The reason being, this is quite new technology to us. We've never done it before. So we don't want to promise something that we don't feel we could deliver. So we've given ourselves a lot of time to do this. If it goes bonkers conkers and people want, if we sell 50 villages right by Monday, it would be very wrong of us not to offer some more. So what we will do is we will talk to the backers. We'll work out what they want to do, and we will probably offer some more during the Kickstarter, but they'll have a later delivery date. So, you know, we try and get them all in by September, but if we can't, you know, if you back in the second tranche, you just have to accept that, you know, it may be a bit later.
Yeah, because people just have to understand the time it takes to print each. Oh
yeah. Well, we bought a few printers though, so yeah, just to give it a good go. But you're right, you know, and again, this is something I want to do more of. So we'd like to offer more terrain and scenery and stuff, and so this is our toe in the water. If people don't want it, then we won't do anymore. But we just really don't know how it's going to go.
Having a look down the feed, I think it's going to go well.
Good.
Yeah, and so someone, people, we will answer all these questions, guys. There's loads of questions coming in. Pete Barfield said you could use the terrain for bows and badges too. Yeah, you could, and for early medieval. You know, they're hovels. So maybe not the blacksmiths or the barn, but you know, the other stuff you could easily make a Saxon village out of it all. So and I've kind of done that on purpose because I want, if you're gonna buy terrain, I want people to be able to use it. You know, for more than what we're doing. So again, like we were talking about earlier with the start of the Barons War, you make your core stuff. So although it's got the church, and the church, it plays quite a part in the campaign scenario thing, as when we start revealing more about it will become apparent why. The rest of it is really good bread and butter terrain, I think, for the period. You know, haystacks, dung heap, pig. You know, we've got pigsty, pigs, hovels, cross, etc., etc. You know, all, you know, bright walls,
fences, bits and pieces.
Fences. Yeah, all the bread and butter stuff that you'd want. So, and you could use it for lots of different things, and that's been the idea for it, really. So, yeah, all good. Should we answer some questions?
Yes, let's.
Let me go back to the beginning. There's loads tonight.
Find some questions for Paul. There were some good ones earlier.
Was there?
Yeah. Somebody was asking. Was asking Paul about what's his favourite period. I think to make.
What's my favourite period?
Yeah.
It's probably the period I've got to do next.
That's a good answer. I like that answer.
I like all periods, mostly. Depends, really. I'm not a fan of sort of ancients or stuff like that. That's, but yeah, we're mostly clothed people. Can sort of deal with.
Yeah, that's not weird at all.
No. So, what's my favourite? I don't know. I haven't really got one. They're all really interesting. It's not sort of sort of more the nuts and bolts of history. I'm more interested in what people look like and, sort of uniforms. I've always been sort of, that's a really cool uniform, stuff like that. So, always been big on Napoleonics because they just look fanciful.
Yeah.
Anything really.
Yeah, I like the old Waterloo film where they have the ball before the battle and they're all in their dress uniforms, and then in the morning they get on their horses and ride to battle. I always find that quite stirring. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, how the hell do you go to battle wearing like a leather collar and a shako that's that big, and you've got a pack on your back, and then you've got a load of brown musket, and you've got French cavalry coming at you and cannons going on? I'd be like, I don't need half of this crap. Come on, let's just have a scrap.
Or a pig in your backpack.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I would love to do is Napoleonic personality figures, leaders, generals. I have a bit of a collection myself.
Yeah.
So love it. Beautiful stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, well, Paul's open for commissions.
It's all lit.
When Andy's finished with him, not before.
I'm not going to be finished with him for a long time.
No.
Let's be honest. Here's one for you, Tim. Pete Barfield said, after watching El Cid, the TV series, I've wondered if there's any plans for doing this using the Barons War rules. Your Norman range and armies of the Caliphates were with a couple of additional characters and special units, ?
That was to me.
Well, I know that you like that period.
We know you like that period.
I can tell you that both Glenn and I, Glenn came to me to talk about it, and I talked about it to these guys over here to do it. And yes, I mean, can I? That's the.
We'd love to do it, wouldn't we? It's quite interesting at the moment. I'm getting one a day, one every other day. People asking me emails about doing different periods, using the Barons War rules for different medieval periods, and I'd love to do it all, but it's creating the army lists is the key, and it takes time.
Yeah,
and I'm not an expert on half of this stuff. Well, I'm not an expert on anything, to be honest, but
we can only read so many books.
We can only read so many books. So if someone's really keen to do like that period, if they came to me with army lists, yeah, bro, I'll take those. Yeah. We balance them, make them work, and then off we go.
Yeah.
So I'm really, if people are really madly keen to play the Barons War in other
settings,
theatres or settings, then yeah, let's do it. But I can't do it all on my own, and I'm already committed to the next project, aren't we, Paul?
Yeah, and that's quite big, isn't it?
Yeah, that's going to be quite big. So yeah, let's see where we go. What else we got? Evening, Richard 7. Jonathan Preston said Third Crusade with Robin Hood and King Richard. I think that's his wish list. Well, you know what? If we just need to do stats for King Richard, don't we? And then away you go. You could play that now.
Yeah, we do already have a Richard model on foot and on horse. That's what happens.
The horse.
Neil Basher Bishop asks, will there eventually be a printed version of the rules for death and taxes? Yeah, depends how the Kickstarter goes.
Well, considering you were only going to get an alpha set of rules for the Barons War and you ended up with a finished book.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
Yeah,
Mr. Hobday doesn't know when to stop.
Yeah, I'd like to do a printed book, but again, these things cost money. I think we've tentatively looked at including it as a stretch goal, haven't we, Paul?
Yes.
Printed version of the book, but it's expensive to do because I'd want to give it away. I wouldn't want to make people have to buy it if they back us. So we kind of looked at where we could drop it in because we're gonna make the PDF will be properly finished like the Barons War. It'll fit in with the Barons War. We're just not sure we can afford to print it yet, are we?
No. I think there's the priorities are in other places at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. So we'll see. But yes, Neil, I'd love to. If we can, I've got another question about that as well, which I'll offer out to the group and see what we get back. But someone he's also asked. Also, I remember Andy mentioning this is going to be the last Barons War set in England. Is this still the case? Yes. Yeah, for now, But
never say never.
Never say never. But we're gonna go on our travels, aren't we, Paul?
We certainly are.
That's the plan.
Might even be a couple of figures make the travel with us as well.
Yes, yeah, we got quite a funny idea with that, so we're very excited about that. Okay. Thank you, David Cowper. He said, I was just looking at the full Barons War range on the Footsore website today. It looks really impressive. Yes, It was all me.
Yeah,
it
is a solid range. It's a really good range.
I'm full of it at the moment about it because I'm really, it's like it's coming to fruition. So it's kind of getting to where we want it to be, which is really cool.
Well, the good thing about it's kind of been bookended, isn't it? So that's the good thing. It feels like a completed range, or I'm sure there's things that we can do to add to it, but it feels like we've done it properly.
Yes. Yeah. We were thinking about what to add to it, weren't we, for part of this, and it was pretty difficult to find anything specific. And we could, like you say, we can come back and do some bits. So we've been talking about doing a couple of characters for something, haven't we, recently? A couple of nights, but more on that later. But I think the idea is that we feel as though we can leave England now, can't we?
Yeah. Yeah, no,
good.
that,
Go west.
Yeah,
at least
Are we
I
allowed
won't
to cross the channel
leave.
anymore?
not allowed anywhere. Yeah.
No.
Lee Upton says, I like the villagers, just great as background for normal games, but even better as they're part of a campaign. Yeah,
Yeah.
the villagers, do you know what? I change, Lee, every single day which of the packs I like the most. I really like the villagers. They're all specific characters in the campaign as well. So they if you want to play out the Barons War, all the villagers are something in particular. But then I kind of like the sergeants as well. We've done the marching sergeants, which we had because there's going to hopefully be the tax cart, maybe, fingers crossed, to go with them. And then the other guys, we didn't have enough armored sergeants, I didn't think, in the range. So these are kind of that. So I kind of like those. I went for a period of those, and it's kind of a really nice little guard for Eustace. And then you did the bloody outlaws, and they're just lovely. So I keep swapping, and I'm on the villages at the moment. They're kind of my favourite too at the moment, I think.
Yeah, the villagers were my favourite because I think that's what I wanted to do first off.
Yeah,
yeah, they're my favourite ones.
Yeah, the boy on the horse kind of triggered it all. Yeah, he was the catalyst for it all. He's actually the blacksmith's son, isn't he?
Yes.
So there's a reason he's playing crusading. But more about that later. Here we go. I found those questions for Hicksy from Daniel Poljak. He says, "What do you really enjoy sculpting?"
What do I enjoy sculpting? Like I said, it's I do really enjoy doing sort of rank and file figures. Do like Napoleonics or stuff like that. I really enjoy doing those. But then villagers and real characterful bits I enjoy doing as well. But then again, it can be the thing I'm sculpting next is probably the thing I'm going to enjoy most.
Yeah.
It's whatever I'm infused. I can get infused pretty easily about most periods.
Yeah, and that whole research thing is I've done some of that with you, and it gets quite exciting, doesn't it? Yeah. Like when we find stuff that we wanna make, it can get quite exciting. I can understand. Unfortunately, I just can't sculpt them. I have to leave that to you. I've got no discernible talent.
Well, I've got but I can't write for toffee, so that's good.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything. Next question. What was the most difficult mini you've ever sculpted?
What's the most difficult?
Yeah.
Sometimes the most difficult might not be. Sometimes it's something I've got to do to finish a range off.
Right.
So it might be just trying to get my head round crewing things like artillery pieces. They're pretty tricky to do because you've got then try and fit your sculpting in with someone else's work. And they're pretty tricky. But if I'm really infused about it, it might not be that tricky to do at that time.
Yeah. Really so it's more about how you're feeling than what you're sculpting.
Yeah. Well, one of the backer figures I've just done, that's pretty complicated, but
it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed doing it. It had a lot of scale armor on it, which worked out all right, actually.
Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah.
Paul, it's interesting you say that because whenever I look at the Trebuchet crew, and I often wonder, how did he do that? Did you have a copy of the Trebuchet built already, and then because there's a lot of character and movement, especially the poor bastard that's
in the wheel
inside. Every time I see those figures, and believe me, it's a daily basis. It's like, wow.
Well, luckily we went to Warwick Castle on a school trip with my daughters, and we got to see the big trebuchet they've got there, and they were describing how it worked. So having a sort of a visual idea of what something should look like gets, get your juices flowing. I watch a lot of, if I'm sculpting something, I watch a lot of documentaries, so I can it sort of filters in while I'm working. And I learn, which is good, because I haven't really got time to sort of research the period I'm doing, because I do so many different periods that I can't sit there and read, because then I'd really ignore my family. So while I'm working, I'll have, I'll put a film on that's from the period, or the documentaries and stuff like that, and let it sort of seep in.
Cool. Okay. Quick fire one. Will you be sculpting the next event mini for Crisis again?
I hope so. They normally ask me to. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Have you ever sculpted a really fat pirate?
Pardon?
Have you ever sculpted a really fat pirate? Someone says.
A fat pirate?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Will we get this is his last question. Will we get a Mortal Gods mini sculpted by you, as well as any other non-medieval Footsore range?
Well, you've got the British Civil
Gangs
War.
of Rome. Yeah.
Gangs of Rome, British Civil War. Yeah.
Yeah, you've done loads for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have got John Robertson. He's got a list as long as my arm for stuff to do for Mortal Gods. So Mortal Gods is still getting the love.
Cool. Yeah. Keep going down. There you go. Kieran's going to use the files to finish his Nottingham project, which is great. I did it just for you, Kieran, so you could do that. Dan Kelly knows his stuff for pre-support STL files. He does. Working with Dan Kelly has been an absolute dream. The stuff he's created is beautiful.
Yeah,
and the way, not just the way it looks, the way it goes together, the way it builds. He's done a really good job. I'm very, very pleased with the village. And I've made George paint it, so hopefully we'll have a painted one at some point, so we can get to see that. Steve Hayden says, will there be a retail version of the STL files for those who print things to be sold? I haven't, not in the Kickstarter, there won't be. I've not, but maybe we'll look at that later. But
there's a whole lot going on with us, or you guys learning about 3D printing. So we haven't got answers to all of the questions yet.
No, the files, making the files available is really for backers and gamers, really, as an easy way to do it. What we do beyond that, I don't know. I know people laugh at me, but it still has to fund. The Kickstarter needs to fund, and it still needs to, be a success. If it's a success and it goes well, we'll do more, and we'll do our best to make whatever available that we can. Peter Craft says, when's the Kickstarter? It starts at 8 p.m. GMT this Sunday, 21:03:21. I didn't plan that. That was just an occurrence.
That's a late night.
8 p.m. Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't sleep anyway. Buy digital printed scenery. I'd buy digital printed scenery. Well, there will be some, Dale, so that's good.
Yeah.
Paul does evolution of 3D print. Oh, there you go. Charles Charange says, Paul, does evolution of 3D printing worry you as a sculptor? I mean, I don't think 3D figures are anywhere near traditional sculpting yet, but the technology is making leaps with every year.
Well, I think periodically I speak to Andy.
Yeah.
I would like how I feel about it. We'll have to give it a go, I think, because of the way technology is going and the way I think that maybe miniatures will be sold or purchased but I'm working now because I love it's something I love to do with my hands, and I think doing stuff on computer is not really what I do this for.
Yeah.
So when I see, you know, something created by somebody's made by hands, because I'm old, I kind of appreciate that more than on a computer. I kind of think, in my mind, is not as, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's not as tangible as working with your hands.
There's a difference.
It's that tactile thing, isn't it?
There's a difference, isn't there, between traditionally hand sculpted miniatures and digitally sculpted miniatures?
Yeah.
There is still a difference, and there's pros and cons to both. But one of the things for me, and again, it might be because I'm old as well, digital. Don't you nod at me, Mr. Farr, old man Farr. Did people who, and it's getting better, but in the early days of when digital sculpting came in, you could see people who didn't have any traditional sculpting know-how, you know, with the lines and the flow of the miniatures, and then people who had traditional knowledge made far better digital sculptors. I think the gap has got smaller now.
Yeah,
but you know, early days there was a big difference. I think to answer the question for you, Paul, I don't think that in our lifetime traditional sculpting will ever be replaced by digital. I just think there'll be more digital sculpting. I just think that's the way it'll go. I think there'll always be a desire for traditionally sculpted miniatures.
I think I've spoken to somebody about this, but the technology is not up to speed yet. Is be able to scan and what I do, and then then transform a physical into a digital sculpt. I think that would be ideal.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
You know, that's probably that would be my ideal situation, would be to do that.
Yeah, no, I agree. That would be a great skill. It's available at the moment, Tim, isn't it? Where you could scan things and take it in, but you still need to work on the miniatures, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So you'd still have the figure, and you do the scanning. The scanners are getting better. A lot of the work after something's been scanned is the cleanup process of the area itself. But it's interesting because I've seen a lot of traditional sculptors, such as Paul, go do digital sculpting, and they learn it and they show pictures. Hey, this is what I'm doing. And then all of a sudden it stops. They go back to traditional sculpting. So I think maybe it's the age, you know, hey, this is what I know I'm good at. And
I think the biggest benefit I see in it is for the little bits that I make. So, you know, if I'm doing a range, I make a load of water bottles, and then I'm looking into that with 3D printing possibly. But that's at the moment, that's where I'm looking at with it.
You know, I personally but from a production perspective, we have new digital moderns coming. So it's very easy for me to send all those files to Mark, say, you print them, you have them.
Yeah.
I have them. It's very easy for, you know, I do like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I see the benefit of it.
Yeah, production of it, definitely. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Cool. Stanislav has asked, any news regarding Crusaders, which you have announced on the end of last year? We're still very keen to do them. Time's just slipped a bit for us. I think it's been very difficult with the pandemic and being locked down and all of this kind of thing. This Kickstarter should have been earlier, you know, so things have slipped a little bit, but keep watching this space. Paul Souchon says, your Hospitaller, I can never say it, Knight, thank you, is one of my favourites. Might we see more of his order in miniature, or perhaps a Crusader Baron who vaguely resembles Liam Neeson?
Oh,
Tim is. Oh,
Tim's off. Here we go.
we have this discussion periodically. I would like to do the characters from Out of Kingdom of Heaven, but not the actors. Tim, on the other hand, would like to do the characters Out of Kingdom of Heaven as the actors. So that's why we've hit an impasse. Move on.
What would Paul like to do?
what would I like to do?
Yeah.
A bit of both, I think.
There you go.
There's kind of a few figures in the latest Barons, the next Barons War Kickstarter, where there's a couple of characters I've picked up on a TV show here that will kind of have influenced the sculpts. Just because I think that's what influenced me.
Yeah.
But equally, it will be maybe the actor, but with a more historically, sort of representation of what they would have worn.
Oh yeah. Okay, I could be swayed on that.
Yeah,
and I would be okay with that. Then you wouldn't hear me at all anymore.
I like
it casts.
Just while we're on Kingdom of Heaven, Kingdom of Heaven is a really good movie if you watch the full extended, cut with the extra 30, not the director's cut, but the director's cut with the 30 minutes in, because you watch it and it makes sense.
Yes.
Some of what they're wearing is a bit dodgy. Some of the things of what happens is a bit dodgy. However, as a film, it's really engrossing. But for me, the fight in the woods in the snow at the beginning is the Barons War. That to me is what triggered the whole Barons War bit. Just that whole piece. So if maybe we'll get around to making those figures in the woods, and then we could fight it out as a scenario or something. That would be quite cool.
Tim, it's only taken us 12 months to get this far.
Yeah, but I'm still not given ground yet.
Persistence.
I'm still not given ground yet.
Get trees digitally sculpted to build the whole scene.
Yeah, that would be cool, actually. Yeah, maybe we should do that. Will you guys be at Gen Con? They announced they'll be having their convention this year. Not going to any conventions this year, unfortunately. We might go to Salute at the end of the year. No. It's still a bit
dodgy.
Still a bit virusy out there.
Yeah.
Now, we can do Gen Con online, and if someone wants to speak to me about, we can, Footsore North America, we could do something online, but as in person, because I've been being asked as well, are we going to Millennial Con or well, no, not for a while. It takes a lot for me to leave my house to begin with. So unless I'm going to the UK,
yeah,
I agree. Sorry, I'm reading some of the questions. It's quite cool. There's loads tonight.
There is loads.
Simon de Montfort from David Cowper, maybe. Yeah. Michael Blake says, "Hi gents, love the Kickstarter. An alarm set for Sunday. I struggle with understanding rules for games. Don't we all, Michael? Will you guys be doing some how to play videos? Absolutely. We have all the gear, and then we got locked down and some idea. So we got locked down once, and then we got locked down again. Hopefully, we're coming out by June. And when we do, I'm super keen to do a whole bunch of how to play Barons War videos. In the meantime, I'm talking to a chap who's going to work with me to do a how to build your army video. So we're going to do that as well, because we're having a lot of questions on how you build your retinue. And then we'll do a whole bunch of how to play videos. And I think we should stream a game of Mark Farr against George Asling, so you can all enjoy the spectacle that I've enjoyed while we were playtesting, where they both get super grumpy with each other. It's brilliant.
Can they come in on? Are they going to have a ring walk?
Yes, we're on a ring walk. Yeah. I tell you, it's really interesting. It's smack talk and everything. They get really and And Mark, I expect it from Mark, you know, but George got quite upset with you, didn't he, Mark?
He did.
He did, didn't he? It was good. It was really good. So I'd love to. We'll love to stream some games. That would be great.
I know that Glenn would love to see Robin Hood fighting with a sword.
Would he?
The Robin Hood figure that Paul had sculpted.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we might do him.
Yeah.
See, I'm sure we're bugged, Paul. I'm sure we're bugged. Modeling for Advantage asks, I think you answered this before, but what is the thinking with some stuff in resin, some in metal, some seem to be in both? This Kickstarter, we won't have any resin figures like we have for the last two. We did it as an option, and it wasn't really taken up last time. Some people, there's a few guys out there who are really keen for it, and
you love resin,
we have a bunch of resin miniatures left, so we can supply those if you want them. But we've lost our resin guy as well, didn't we, Mark, since the last Kickstarter? Not carelessly. He moved to Scotland. So it would have been very costly for us to do it. So we've made the decision not to. Printing wise, I've chosen to print in resin because it gives a better finish, I believe. And it gives you that more real plasticky kind of feel. So if that's what we're talking about with resin, but when that feeling of metal resin, I love metal miniatures, and Footsore is a metal miniature company, so that's why we would always do metal miniatures. But if anything's big or blocky, we try to mix resin and metal together just to keep the price down and to make it easier to work with. So that's the idea with that. Sorry, I am rushing through because we've had so many questions this evening. Stephen Keating said, best way might be character packs for different periods or countries and doing up stat sheets for them as free downloads. This way people can theme their forces more. I'd love to, Stephen. Love to do that. Again, it's creating those themes. So if or characters that they want. So if people, you know, we set up Warhost Online with a forum for people to actively get involved in the community and give us ideas and chuck up thoughts and characters. Happily take people's, you know, if someone gave me a list of characters for a period, like the Anarchy, for instance, I'm really keen to do the Anarchy, and I'm sure we will get to it. But if someone came in with all the characters and some ideas for stats, we would point them and give them, you know, sort out their abilities or come up with some others and have them all laid out properly as an army list, and would make it available for free. I don't want to make any money off anybody in that. I just want people to play the game. So if people are super keen, because again, I would have to go and research. I know I've got an idea. Like the Anarchy is not a good example, but if we said El Cid, for instance, I know El Cid, I know about the Cid, I know about the conflict, but I don't know much more than that. So if we were going to do it, I'd have to go and read about it all, or find someone who does know about it to give me all of the army lists, and we could then work it out. So that's what slows it down, really. So I'm really keen to take these rules and do lots of different things with them. We need some help. Otherwise, you'll get the stuff I'm most interested in, because
which is not a bad thing.
Which isn't a bad thing, but that's what I'll work on.
But I think we have spoken about doing it. You know, the fact that the bread and butter of the range is done, that we can have fun with. The odd pack here and there. I think we've even talked about ways of being able to facilitate that as well, haven't we? Absolutely. And also, even though the first Barons War Kickstarter was 2 years ago, and to people who have been with us on this journey, it seems a long time, and it is a long time. But back then, we didn't even think about doing rules. We had no, you know, it wasn't the idea. So to where we are now,
I know it's been 2 years, but it's still quite new.
Mm.
So, and always with these things, everybody's ideas and thoughts are, there's lots of people out there throwing them into the ring, which is what we love. But trying to do something with all of that, it takes a lot of work. You know, we can't turn it around as quickly as that. You know, so I'll do my best. However, if people want to chuck up ideas into the forum, you know, some ideas for characters or people they want to play, etc. Because this is one of the reasons we did the build your own Baron, you know, build your characters, that kind of thing in the rules. You could take that and start to generate some ideas. You know, that will start us off going. We're not Games Workshop where you can only do what we say. You know, we're trying to give you tools to go and play enjoyable games.
Yeah, and to be fair, the Barons War rulebook gives you loads of tools. So, you know, I'm sure at this point lots of people will have skimmed it and looked at the rules and the basic troops and the rest of it. But if you go and look at the abilities and all of the other stuff that's in there, there isn't much, I don't think, that we've missed for European medieval warfare that you couldn't generate your own army lists and stuff for and come back to us and tell us about it. Now, there are some troop types that we haven't looked at, like, say, horse archers and stuff like that, but, you know, down the road.
But if you would really want them and you shout loud enough, we could write the rules and give them in an hour if it's for something like that, or a couple of abilities that are missing. That's easy to do, isn't it?
Yeah. So there's, for all those, you know, there's nothing stopping anybody going out there and doing what they want with those rules. What we would like is you guys to feed back and tell us what you've done, so that you know, we can then like go, oh, you know what you've done, it's your favorite army and you've turned them all into Space Marines. So we're gonna have to just tone them down a little bit, but then we could, you know, they can become like official lists and stuff. So you know, the more you guys try stuff and feedback in, the better. The Barons War is not formulaic at all. You know, or there's some very simple stuff, like you must have 10% green troops and you can spend up to 50% on your characters, and unit sizes are 2 cavalry or 3 infantry. But pretty much that's as formulaic as it gets. You know, there's a whole wealth of stuff there to be explored and looked at. And I've got, like one of the other guys said, who's got 300 figures. My Barons War force is starting to look a bit like that now. I've got a bit of this and a bit of that and a bit of the other. And what I want to do now is I want to go back and think about how I'm using the force. Who is it? So, you know, me originally being from Hereford, you know, which is part of the marches, is like, you know, well, what's happening between the Norman Marcher Lords and the Welsh and that kind of thing. That interests me. So I'm looking into that, and I want to make 2 forces, one Welsh and one that's you know, sort of Anglo-Norman, and try and work out how to get the best out of all those abilities and stuff to make them thematic for that kind of conflict.
Simple. Josh Potter says, I don't want a 3D printer in my house. Well, we know some people don't, Josh, so that's why we're gonna supply them printed.
Yeah.
And there we go. So Dirk Von Koff has asked where your beard is, Paul, and he said, I think the Barons War range needs more men with beards.
Well, the odd one gets in there, but it got to the point where my wife wasn't going to come anywhere near me with the size it had grown, so the beard had gone. It had to go, and I had to shave it off in the garden because it got so big.
Really?
Yeah, it got quite. It was nearly 2 inches.
Get out of control.
Yeah, it had gone absolutely ridiculous. So I had to get the clippers out, and it was out in the garden. I think the blackbirds have got most of it in their nest at the moment. Nice.
Well, there you go. That's done a bit for nature as well.
That's right. Yeah, giving back.
Pete Barfield says, is there any surprise characters coming up in Barons War 3 Kickstarter?
Is that somebody going boo?
Jumping out from behind trees.
Well, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about surprise characters, but I think there's a few surprise figures, aren't there?
Yeah. Yes, I think it's wait and see. We've made a whole bunch of stuff that we'd like to include in the campaign. It's cost again, isn't it? If we get the backing and everything, we'll get to release everything we want to release. But what we've included in the initial set, you know, that antagonist set of 10 packs is all stuff that if we don't get everything out, there's a good selection of new stuff to join, you know, the range. So that's the idea behind it. So so lots of cool stuff. Lots of support for traditional sculpting, Paul, you'll be pleased to know.
Oh, good, thank you.
That's good. Or the whole group from Kingdom of Heaven first fight scene in the forest. Absolutely, Neil Bishop, I agree.
Brilliant.
Do the actors, but they were commenting on our conversation. We're that far behind. Do the actors, but as the characters you think they should have been. There we go. Why would you not watch the full one? Absolutely, H. Agreed. I would like the German knight from the start of Kingdom of Heaven. I like him with the arrows in his throat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's awesome. When is the army builder coming out, Andy? Soon, Pete. Absolutely soon. And we'll need some guinea pigs to try it. So you will be one, Pete, I'm sure. It's going to be online. It's going to be an app. It's going to be cool. It's going to be quite a simple army builder. Print your army list out, but then we're going to add lots of cool things to it. So, yeah, soon. How to build a retinue? Just buy 300 figures. Yeah, that works.
That's normally me.
Neil Basher Bishop asks, I like that, Neil Basher Bishop, that's good. Are all the stretch goals decided and modelled, or have you still got some final decisions to make?
Well,
we were still talking about it today, weren't we, Paul?
Yeah, well, and also there's possibility of the stuff I'm making at the moment, so.
Yeah. Which is super cool.
Sculpt on demand.
Pardon?
I said sculpt on demand. You know,
sculpt on demand.
Yeah.
They normally have print on demand. It's sculpt on demand.
Yeah, exactly.
It's I won't lie to people. We did. Was it the first one we did? And we didn't have enough stretch goals.
No, exactly. Yeah. So
because we're just me and Paul are a bit new to all this. So Paul was sculpting on demand because we were run out of stretch goals. So we got a better idea this time. However, if it goes really well, then we'll have to make some more. Yeah. So modeling question. We're starting to play some SPQR, Shameful Rival Game. It's not a rival game. It's made by another company. That's okay. I know. I want to get some Roman characters for it. Will your Gangs of Rome models fit in size-wise with those old Warlord plastics? I have no idea. No idea.
So, does he mean like the old original Legionaries and stuff?
I don't know.
Because I suspect the stuff that Paul has sculpted in the Gangs of Rome range is probably slightly bigger.
Yeah. I did some of the original Romans for that other company, and I had to make them slightly smaller than I made the Gangs of War stuff, but only slightly.
Yeah,
cool.
Humans are all different sizes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Josh says, after Barons War, will you be doing any more Test of Honor figures, Mark? Well, Mark's doing Test of Honor figures at the moment, aren't you?
We've got the
Test. Sorry, I thought you meant Mortal Gods. We're going
to say we've obviously got the Warring Clans range,
Yes, I don't. We're not
and-
going to add to that at the moment, are we?
No.
I think Graham's doing loads of stuff, isn't he?
He's doing loads of great stuff. Yeah.
Oh, he's sculpting him. I hate him.
Yeah.
He's so talented.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's like he. I remember him saying to me a little while ago, "Oh, I'm going to start some 3D sculpting. I'm going to give it a go." And he's got like 2 or 3 packs of figures out now. It's like
sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Graham's got loads of great ideas for Test of Honor.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's his thing at the moment, and it's his baby. So he's going to continue to add to that. Will I ever go back to, you know, feudal Japan? Yeah, definitely. At some point. I mean, it's a period I love. But you know, we're doing Barons War at the moment and Mortal Gods and stuff. So we're not a big company, are we? So we can only do so much. So that's what we're going to do at the moment. But there'll be plenty of stuff for Test of Honor. You know, Graham's did a great job of that.
Yeah,
you know,
he's really on it.
Yeah. Writing rules of the things that you enjoy is the only way to do it. You make a good job of the games you offer. I'm sure that is a big part of why. I think I missed that totally. That must have been about something. Sorry, modeling for advantage. I totally missed that. That must have been along with something we were saying. Josh Potter, fun characterful packs like samurai riding dinosaurs. Here's a question, Josh. If I had some samurai riding dinosaurs made as 3D prints, would you print them? You were saying that you didn't want to get a 3D printer. There you go.
Yeah.
Can't stare. Hope Mark and Andy have seen. Yes, Francois, we have.
We have, yes.
Sorry, we haven't answered them. I have seen it. I will answer the best I can. Stephen Keats is going to look up the Bruce in Ireland then. Yep, go and do that, Stephen, and give us some stuff. Jonathan Price says, can you pay Paul more so he can afford a decent internet connection?
Oh, right. Sorry.
That's Jonathan Patterson.
I'm in the garden.
He's in you bought me your garden?
Yeah.
There you go.
You know, and you live in the rural London, don't you? So the connection's not good down there. Yeah. There you go. Nice to see you all, but can't get the bloody sound to work. That's Mark. Sorry, Mark. It's Mr. Fisher, Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Barons War Quest for the Grail. Interesting. I'm your guinea pig out. Yeah. Oh, catching up. What are you sculpting? What are you sculpting at the moment there, Paul?
Possibly some Barons War figures.
Cool. David Cap says Eustace the Monk ? We will get round to him at some point. Yes, they will. Warlord and Gore work well. Gangs of Rome work well. Thank you, Pete.
Thanks,
Pete Barfield. Thank you.
If anybody would know, Pete would know.
Yeah. There you go. Ben Drain says, how long does it take Paul to complete a sculpt on average?
Depends what it is.
Yeah.
Could be a day, could be a couple of days, could be a week, depends. It's how long a piece of string is, basically.
There we go. There we go. The question was from Modeling Advantage was for Paul. As a sculptor, does it annoy you when you make a feature for a model to be accurate and no one uses it? Do you get annoyed? Thinking things like samurai arrow catchers, they look too dumb and I've never seen anybody use them.
No, because generally, if it was something I made for myself, then probably yes, because I'm selling it and it wouldn't be selling. But generally, I'm making stuff that I've been commissioned. So once it's left me, I've kind of forget what I've made, to be honest. So I'll see them pop up on Facebook, and that's great. That's people painting my sculpts. But once they've left me, I've kind of, that's the company's property, and then away we go from there, really, on to the next thing.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Cool. We're caught up. There we go. I hope we've answered everybody's questions.
I think so.
Yeah, and that's not bad for us because it's 9:15. So
Cool.
That's gone quickly.
It has. Yeah. It's pretty busy tonight. I think we should call it a day. What do you think?
yeah,
That's
I
the
think
only thing I want to say is obviously Kickstarter Barons War 3 Death and Taxes.
Yeah.
Starts Sunday, 8 p.m. GMT. Please go and tell everybody about it, share it, etc. We really want to make this playset. We're really keen to do it.
We had some good ideas, didn't we, to sort of promote it, but unfortunately we can't get
together, can we?
No.
Yeah, we can't. But if this format works and people like it, we'd like to make some more playsets, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'd be up for that, definitely.
So yeah, we'll see. Cool. All right. Anybody else for any more?
I was going to say the only thing would be sign up to get an email notification when the Kickstarter kicks off.
Mm-hmm.
That was really.
Shall I share the link? Shall I share the link?
Yeah.
I have it somewhere.
Yep.
Here we go.
Because I know when I was looking in on my Kickstarter, the huge percentage of people who backed the Kickstarter was from the notification emails that were sent out. So that's very important. Yep, there you go.
There we go. That's the link to be notified.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you everybody for joining us this evening. It's been pretty full on. Yeah, very exciting times. And thank you, Paul, for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate that, Paul. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, well,
cool.
That's another great chat that we've had. Thank you all for your support. Thank you definitely for your continued support that we're receiving. We look forward to your support with the Kickstarter on Sunday. And if we don't have anything else, until next month, thank you all.
Cheers.
Yeah. See you all later, guys. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.